You are born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. Your first sight is in a house where nothing belongs to you. Your father tends other people's gardens, while your mother looks after other people's children. The pay isn't much, and it's barely enough to get by, but your parents make it work. The problem is that while you never go hungry, there's never enough for anything else. By age 7, you grow into a kid with freckles and a smile that people trust immediately. Your innocent and trusting face always makes people trust you easily. By age 10, you understand that this is the most useful thing about you. You're also a smart kid. Some might even say genius. You skip grades and finish school early at 16. By the time you enter college, you are almost always the smartest in a room of people twice your age. But you notice something that has been prevalent all your life. The smartest isn't always the most respected. The wealthiest people are always the most respected. It is then you make the decision to be wealthy. Not hope, not dream. You decide. You haven't figured out how, but you will. At 18, you transfer to a well-respected mathematics program in NYU. After 3 years, you realize this still doesn't get you the lifestyle you want. So you drop out. You want to be wealthy and powerful, and school isn't putting you around the people you need. You always hear talk about a group called the Illuminati, a group of elites who run the world. You wish finding them was as simple as looking them up in a phone book, but it's not. So for now, you go back home. While lounging around your parents' house eating Cheetos, you get a great idea. Why not get a job where the elite send their children? If you can't get around the elite, their children would be the next best thing. So you lie about having 2 mathematics degrees and apply at Dalton. Dalton is one of the most elite private prep schools in America. It's also where the rich and powerful send their kids to become the next generation of leaders. On the day of your interview, you meet the headmaster. He's a quirky man known to always follow his instincts. So you put on your most trusting face while also professing your love for kids. You even pull the "my mom was a teacher too" card. It works. And just like that, you start to teach the children of the 1%. But you aren't actually here for the kids. You are here for their parents. And so, you begin networking. You go to every parent-teacher event. You shake hands. You always let them know that you're destined for more. After all, that has always been the plan. Eventually, Dalton discovers you're a fraud. But by then, you're already on your way to Wall Street. One parent believes you're wasting your time in Dalton and connects you to his CEO friend. It seems your plan of bluffing your way up the social ladder is working out. On Wall Street, you're everything they want. Poor, smart, and deeply desirous of wealth. PSD, they call it. You continue to lie about your degrees. After all, how can they trust you if you aren't certified? But in less than a year, they find out. They call you in and question you. They expect you to grovel and beg. But you shock everyone, including yourself. You do not apologize. You tell them that nobody would have given you a chance otherwise, that you did what you needed to do to get your shot, whatever it takes. And that does the trick. They keep you. And in that moment, you learn one thing about America's corporate world. Confidence costs nothing. And in the right room, it's worth more than any degree. From that moment on, you rise fast. And if you want to rise faster, you can do so by visiting the sponsor of today's video, War Thunder.
War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's available now for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. In War Thunder, you can take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, and join a worldwide community of over 95 million players duking it out in epic PvP battles. Come join me and immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles are combined with authentic and realistic sound effects that place you at the helm of some of the most powerful war machines of our time. Sign up by clicking the links in the description and pinned comment below. When you do, new and returning players that haven't played for at least 6 months will receive a massive bonus back on PC and consoles. Bonus items include the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. Available for a limited time only, so...
Stop by War Thunder after this video. Years pass and you turn 27. You earn $200,000 a year. So it's no surprise when one magazine names you Bachelor of the Month. You even become indispensable at work. Turns out being good at math means coming up with trading strategies that could save ultra-wealthy clients huge amounts in taxes. And at the sound of tax avoidance, billionaires cancel meetings to have lunch with you. You make sure to always learn their names, fears, and secrets. But you also make sure they learn your name too. It is during these meetings with them that you learn a crucial truth about the world. The rules don't apply to everyone. They only apply to people without the right connections. So you spend the next decade making sure you always have the right connections. You think this is how it will always be. But a small scandal, an IPO scam that's 100% your fault, ends your time on Wall Street. You don't particularly care. After all, you are walking out with a Rolodex full of the wealthiest men in America. You spend the next few years doing what you do best, moving money and making yourself indispensable to men who have more money than they know what to do with. You even help people find money they lost. You help them recover millions in stolen funds from offshore accounts and return it to them. They reward you significantly. And just like that, you are a millionaire before you are 32. But becoming a millionaire was never the plan. You never forget about the contact cards in your Rolodex. You just never figured out what to do with it. Well, that's until Bonnie walks into your life. You heard her father's empire just collapsed into the Mediterranean with him, and that she's left with nothing but a famous last name. You believe she's a disturbance at first, but within 5 minutes of watching her, you feel something close to kinship. She is warm in a way you have never been able to imitate. She always makes people feel safe and seen. And most importantly, she sees the world the same way you do. That power isn't something you earn, but something you take. That's when your relationship with her becomes something else. One evening, you invite Bonnie over for dinner. You talk about business, politics, weather, and everything in between. You also talk about your days as a tax advisor to billionaires. You even tell her of their depraved parties and how they claim to never know where the next party is. You tell her you see a business in it, but don't know what. Slowly, you steer the conversation to what you actually need from her. You never use the specific words, but she understands. She even comes up with an idea you could have never imagined. The plan is for her to approach young girls in public places, shopping centers, college campuses, Mar-a-Lago. She plans to fake a maternal and almost sisterly warmth. You already know the girls won't stand a chance. And just like that, a system that will shock the world is born. Your first victim is a girl that arrives at your townhouse holding her bag in front of her like a shield. She is 16 years old. You already know everything about her. Bonnie briefed you before she left to get the girl. You know her mother is sick and her family has no money. You also know she wants to dance professionally, but the lessons cost more than her family will ever be able to afford. So you get to work to make her trust you. You offer her water first. Then you ask about the dancing. You also listen the way you have learned to listen. Slightly forward, eye contact held just long enough, and the occasional slow nod that says, "I hear you, I see you, and you matter." Immediately, you see the trust in her eyes, and you tell her you know people in the industry, that you have helped girls like her before, and can help. You say it like you're commenting on the weather, casually. She believes you. But you also know you have to break her fully. So you mention needing a massage. You tell her it's back problems, that it's completely normal and lots of people do it. You slide $300 across the table before she has agreed to anything just to force her hand. You watch her look at the money. Then think about it. When she says yes, you exhale internally. It's your first time, and you were never sure if it would go the way you planned. In the massage room, she is quiet. Her hands are stiff and small, and she keeps her eyes fixed on the wall above your head. You watch her the way you watch everything, methodically, with total attention. You note the exact moment she understands what is actually happening, the way her breath changes, the way her eyes fill without spilling. She doesn't scream. She doesn't run. She just freezes. You've seen this multiple times. It's the same way small animals freeze when they realize it's helpless. After you're done, you ask her if she has a friend who might want the same opportunity, that you will pay her extra for the introduction. You don't want her to dwell on the experience. That's bad for business. So you deflect. It works. She leaves without saying a word. After she's gone, you make a note, and you pour yourself a drink. As you take a sip, you realize you never even got her name. From that day on, your operation expands. 2 girls a week becomes 2 girls a day. Bonnie handles logistics. She calls them in a light, cheerful voice you can sometimes hear from the other room. For years, the girls arrive at your townhouse with faces that scream of desperation. You already know everything about each one before they walk through the door. Bonnie is thorough that way. One's mother is sick. Another aged out of foster care last spring. One wants to be a model. And some just need someone to believe in them. You give each of them exactly what they need for exactly long enough to get what you want. But this system was never created for you alone. It has always been for the elites. Princes, politicians, financial moguls, and even presidents. They come to the townhouse first. Quiet evenings, good wine, and conversations that only happen when everyone at the table has more power than they know what to do with. The girls serve. Then they disappear into rooms that were never meant for them alone. Nobody says anything directly. Nobody has to. You also hire a photographer. His job is to capture everything. When your guest asks why, you tell them it's to preserve the memory, that you will send them a copy. They understand what that means. Years pass, and you turn 45. Your operation has gone global. Elites from all around the world fly in just to see what you're about and utilize your connections. You realize it's time to expand. You start with a ranch in New Mexico, then a Paris apartment for the European arrangements. But even those aren't enough. You need more isolation. So you do something you never thought you'd be able to do. You buy an island. Now, your guests arrive by air. They never change their expression except when they exchange smiles with you. The girls arrive the same way. The only difference is their faces change when they see the water. You know that expression well. It's an expression of acceptance. You love it. After all, you thrive on it. But some still try to escape. One girl even tries to swim for it. You watch from the docks as she makes it to maybe 40 meters before the current takes her sideways. You send someone after her. When she's brought back, you sit with her on the dock. Calm, unhurried, almost gentle. You're not angry. You just explain that you dictate who leaves and when. She never tries to escape again. After the guests leave, you sit alone and review what you have collected. You do not think of it as blackmail. You see it in the same logic that has governed your entire life, that the rules are for people without leverage. You're 51 when your contacts tell you about an investigation on you. You hear that a mother looking for her missing 14-year-old daughter has shown a spotlight on you. She tells the police that her daughter was last seen in your townhouse. Immediately, you make a donation to that police department. You have made donations before. This one is to remind them who you are. This time, it doesn't work. They start an investigation on your dealings and find 36 girls. All the girls have the same story about the same house and the same man. You're the man. They investigate more and find 34 more. Someone on your payroll tells you the indictment they are building has 60 counts. If fully prosecuted, it would mean life in prison. You are not worried. You just pick up the phone and call the people you have spent 30 years entertaining. You remind them, gently, that you have files, that the database exists. You do not make explicit threats. You never do that. After all, they're your friends. You simply remind them that your situation and their situation are, in certain respects, connected. They understand your message. The next day, your 60-count federal indictment becomes 2 state charges. Good enough for you. You plead guilty and are sentenced to 18 months. You serve only 13. Not in a federal prison, but in the private wing of a county jail. The 70 girls the investigators found are never told the verdict. The 13 months passed like a breeze. At the age of 55, on a warm July morning in 2009, you walk out free. You smile as you're chauffeured to the airport. Your operations never stalled while you were away. That is what makes your network strong, and your freedom is what the network is for. Back on your island, someone throws you a party. A prince attends. But not only him. Academics, financiers, and men whose names appear on the sides of buildings are also in attendance. And most importantly, new girls with dreams. Your friends clink glasses and tell stories. Nobody mentions the 13 months. And by the end of the night, you have 3 new business meetings scheduled and 2 new names added to your database. The next few years pass in a familiar rhythm. Calls, dinners, and meetings with politicians, scientists, and billionaires who are still happy to be in the same room as you. They know you're a registered offender. It just doesn't bother them. But not everybody is happy to see you free. Sometimes you hear that a journalist is sniffing around, asking questions, looking for the girls. You pass the information to your contacts. They tell you they'll handle it. They do. You are 65 years old when you hear her name for the first time. She's a reporter for the Miami Herald. Someone on your team mentions she has been asking questions, looking for girls. You've seen this script before. Bored journalists hoping to uncover the next big scandal. You place a call. They stop looking. So you do your part. You call your contacts. They assure you, you forget about it. Months later, you find out she didn't follow the script. She didn't stop looking. She found 80 girls. At first, you wonder how she found only 80. You've had thousands of girls pass through your fingers. But the next message catches you off guard. It says 60 girls agreed to talk, and their statements have been released. You read the statements. You throw it away. You believe no one will take it seriously. You're wrong. The entire country takes it seriously. And just like that, you become America's most hated man. It doesn't take long before you're arrested. Your lawyers tell you it doesn't look good, that you might get 45 years. You are 66 years old, and when you do the math, you don't like what you're seeing. But things are about to become a whole lot worse. The authorities begin searching your properties too. This time they find everything. The CDs, the photographs, everything. Immediately you're thrown into jail. When your bail is denied, you realize that this might be the last straw. So you start making calls. The first few go through. Lawyers, advisors, voices that have told you not to worry for decades. Then the calls start going to voicemail, one by one. The men you entertained and hosted for 30 years stop picking up. Immediately, you understand what is happening. So you send a different kind of message, through channels. You tell them you have information that can make this worse, that they should take care of this so everybody can be happy. Big mistake. One day while sleeping in your cell, you dream of parties. It seems you can't wait to get back. All of a sudden, you can't seem to breathe in the dream. You're getting so faint that you wake up suddenly. That's when you see him, your cellmate, a bulky man that always kept to himself. He's standing over you and strangling you with a cloth. You can't even struggle. After all, you're an old man now. You think, this is how it'll end. Then he stops. He speaks for the first time. This is a warning from your friends. You understand what it means. You send a message out through your lawyers. You tell them you need a little time, that you need to put your affairs in order. As you write your will, tears fall from your eyes. You never imagined it would end like this, that the same network you built would suffocate you. You believe it's an injustice on you, that you don't deserve this. You never think about the girls. You don't think of their injustice. After all, it was always business to you. So while you share your estate, you leave nothing to the girls. Not 1 cent of the 577 million you extracted from a world that kept choosing to look away. 2 days later, a man in black walks into your cell. You aren't even surprised when you see him. You've already accepted your fate. You even close your eyes to show that. Then you feel something hit your head. Then nothing. You wake up with a start. You thought you were dead. You pinch yourself to confirm. Still alive. You don't understand why. You should be a goner. When a man walks into the room you're in, he hands you a phone. Then you see it. News announcing your death. Says you unalived yourself. Conspiracy theories. But one thing stands out. Nobody mourns for you. You realize everyone wanted you dead. You want to cry. You want to be vulnerable. Then a message pops on the phone. When's the next party? Shout out to War Thunder again for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to check out War Thunder now for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or on mobile. And use my links in the pinned comment or video description to register. Those of you who are new or haven't played for 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across PC and console, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and more. If you ask me, that's my kind of party.